Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are here basically in the middle of nowhere on the outskirts of Las Vegas for the official media drive event of this car right here. This is the one you've been waiting for. It is the 2023 Nissan Z. But before we get into our blue bombshell of a sports car, let's talk about what's going on here. The Z. It's been that letter in the alphabet that has been in Nissan's lineup since 1970, where here in the United States, it was referred to as the Datsun 240Z. Now, the reason why I say United States is because if you travel to Tokyo, Japan, and were there for that official unveiling, you would know that they call it the Fair Lady Z. And it's all because of the father of this vehicle, the father of Nissan, that brand, falling in love with My Fair Lady. And really, this car is truly meant to be that dance partner rather than the visceral beast like the GTR. Now, what's interesting is both the GTR and the Nissan Z first started in 1970. Now, with this iconic vehicle, there's been a lineage from the 240Z, 260, 280, 300, 350, and of course the outgoing 370Z. Now this model is just being referred to as simply Z here in the United States because remember, the number meant displacement. If you had a 370Z, it would be a 3.7 liter V6. Well, guess what? They're taking a little bit step back in displacement, but they're adding twin turbocharged power. Now, I bring all this up because there is an American icon of a performance car, more of a muscle car, but definitely a performance car, and that's going to be the Chevrolet Camaro. Chevrolet Camaro is a little bit older. First came out in 1967, but what I want to do is I want to go in depth with this 2023 Z, show you the ins and outs, and I want to find out that if you're looking for that particular performance car, especially with a certain amount of horsepower, and of course, within the realms of being within the same kind of price point, should you be going Nissan Z and having that original flavor Japanese iconic driving experience, or do you go with the brutish power of the Chevrolet Camaro V8? Let's go ahead, let's dive in our 2023 Z and find out. Right off the bat, the shape. I love how they really hit the nail on the head with the overall dimensions of this car. Now, there is a lot of carryover from the 350 and the 370Z, but there definitely is also a lot that has been changed. Starts at the headlights. When you're looking at this vehicle, they really wanted to shape them similar to what was on the 240 and the 260 and the 280. And I think they did a masterful job. Nice shape headlight housing. Everything is blacked out on the interior. You got LED daytime running lamps, turn signals, and headlights. If you're comparing this to the Chevrolet Camaro, Camaro really did a simple kind of style, sort of like this, with connecting it with the past, especially with the 5th gen. 6th gen still has that current flavor. So it's nice to see the cars kind of make that connection, at least with style, to the past. Now, what I love about the new Z, no fake vents. You basically have a nice indentation. I'm curious, what was the thought process by having this leading edge? It'll be interesting to see if down the road we have a Nismo Z that does something with this corner, but still nice and sleek. Coming across the front grille, this has been one of those debating points, arm wrestling. People have been even tongue wrestling over whether this looks good or not. Let me know in the comment section. It's one of those things that when you see it in person, it makes sense. I like the way the top portion extends out. They did a great job with this gunmetal gray finish on the top half, bottom half, flat black, fully functional. And when you look at the Camaro's had some, debating going on with the front end, especially in 2019 with the Camaro SS. But I really think that they did a nice job connecting it and really showing that 1970 flair. You'll notice the lower lip extends out very aggressively, but nothing too crazy to where you're going to scrape it all over the place. And I think that's another thing to take away is just like the Camaro, you could use that as a perfect daily driver. so can you with the Z. Now, when we get up onto the hood, you do get a bulge. Everybody wants a little bulge action. Love the way you got the peak. It goes into that V-shaped bulge. That is straight out of the 240Z. So a lot of 240Z goodness going on at the front. Now, coming around the bend, you could buy your Z two different ways. Sport is going to be your entry trim. This is performance level trim. It's sort of like the Camaro LT1 and the Camaro SS. Both have V8s, but the SS has more goodies, and this one has more goodies. Check out our little goodie bag over here of wheel and tire goodness. So you're going to get these 19-inch raised wheels. They are forged. How do I know? Because it says it right there. The proof is in the eating of the pudding. I like the nice katana blade design. You are getting 4-piston calipers. They're not Brembos, but you do get the Nissan script. When you go SS, you are going to get those Brembo calipers. Rotor size, about the same on both vehicles. So you're looking at well over 14 inches in diameter on the rotor. And then, of course, they specifically tuned the suspension for this all-new 2023 Z. But really, wheel and tire setup looking great, especially at the front of the business. And if you're wondering, well, what is the size, Joe, of this 255 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and they're wrapped in those Bridgestone Potenza sport tires to really give you that nice grip and stick. Coming down the side, no fake vents, none of that garbage, super clean lines, gloss black on your mirror caps, LED on the turn signals, and you get standard the two-tone. So you have your black roof with the rest blue. You'll notice the flat black. I love the way the flat black kind of extends down, and definitely the way they did the door handles. Very, very clean on the design. When you compare it to the Camaro, this is definitely a more contemporary design, sportier design, but we'll see what happens when we pop the hood. This silver trim, a lot of times I like to zonk this because it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, but it really works well breaking up the black with the blue. Of course, we got our Z badge. On the tail end of the business, we get 275 on the width. So we get a little bit more rubber to meet the road to give us that traction. You can see you still got the nice bright red calipers, like little cherry tomatoes back there. This being a performance trim has an all-new limited slip differential, and it is rear-wheel drive, just like the Camaro. Coming around back, love that nice hatchback spoiler, really giving that clean look. The new Nissan badge, and then of course, just a little bit of gloss black with the Z badge, and I love the way they replicated the lights of the Z32 Nissan 300ZX. That was probably my favorite generation of all Zs, and they brought that magic on the lower end. You got that massive rear diffuser, nice slash cut, oval shape with the nice decorative holes drilled out to really give it that extra style. You can get extra Nismo parts like a catback exhaust, but why don't we go ahead? We got the Z here. Let's pop the hood and talk performance numbers and horsepower of this iconic legend. All right, guys, we got the hood open. You do have a prop rod, which I am gonna zonk, especially because the Camaro doesn't have a prop rod. It's got hydraulic hood struts. Underneath the hood though, it's really just pleasure for the eyes. You have this massive strut tower brace as thick as a steel girder on the Brooklyn Bridge to stiffen up the front end. Tasteful engine cover, and as you can see, ta-da, it's back, that twin turbo setup. So we got a 3-liter twin turbo V6 pumping out 400 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque. You could have it your way, just like Burger King, 6-speed manual with automatic rev match downshifting, or an all-new 9-speed automatic. In the performance trim, as we have, they do come with launch control. Now, when you look at a Camaro SS or LT1, the Camaro has a naturally aspirated 6.2-liter V8 that pumps out 455 horsepower. 0 to 60 is gonna be close, but you know what? We're gonna have to find out what that driving is gonna be like once we get behind the wheel and actually drive this vehicle. But on our Z performance spec, we have a mechanical limited slip diff, engine oil cooler, and when you go manual, you're getting a carbon fiber drive shaft. MPGs, 18 in the city, 28 on the highway. But you know what? It's one thing to look at the engine. Let's see how it compares to the Camaro when it comes to sound. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's fire up this new Z. All right, guys, we're inside this beautiful blue, seductive 2023 Nissan Z. Now, we already brought to you, of course, that blue one from New York during the official unveil last year. But this one has something different that wasn't in that one. But I know you want to get down to the nitty-gritty. You're like, Joe, shut up and just tell us the price. No official pricing, but stay tuned because we are going to be bringing you more from Las Vegas. You'll see. But until that day, let's find out what you're going to be getting for the money and how it stacks up against the Camaro SS to the door panels. You're going to see some old style from the 370 and 350Z, but they did an excellent job. Look at the blue interior. Wonderful leather. Alcantara matches the exterior very nicely. Door pocket is tight. So maybe just one burrito from Chipotle. Don't even get the sour cream or guacamole. And guac costs extra, so skip those and it'll fit in nicely. You do have some dark plastic around the door handle. It is dark gray. I don't mind it, but some people would zonk it. Let me know in the comment section how you feel. And when you go performance spec, you are getting the Bose sound system. Now, when you go from the door panel to the dash, soft touch material, you'll see how they brought the blue into the interior, not only up top, but on the sides as well. We got our analog classic triple gauges up there. And what's great is I like the way they moved away from the bright red coloring and lighting of it. Gives it a nice classic look. Working your way down, we got 9 inches. 9 inches of pure visual pleasure. If you compare this to the Camaro, Camaro has an 8-inch infotainment system. I do like the way this is neatly organized and integrated. You have navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, of course, and you do have that touchscreen capability. Very simple to go through. It is the older operating system, which for most is going to be perfectly fine. I could actually click and find out what the fuel prices are in the area. I could go back and I want to show you something. I go into settings and I could actually customize the home menu. So what you're going to do is if I want Sirius XM there, you're going to click, hold, and drop. Click, hold, and drop. I could actually go to another screen here, another screen. I want call history, boom. Now we're good to go. And I could hit back, and then it just brings you back to the main screen, or you could go menu, or you could go your map. Let me throw it into reverse. There's our backup camera. It does take up all 9 inches. It's just compared to the Camaro SS, the resolution is very, very grainy as the sand and rocks behind us. So that is a zonk compared to the Camaro. But you do have a nicely integrated screen. Now we have standard AC controls, which I don't mind, but there is no dual climate, USB-C, USB. I think the other zonk is gonna be no wireless charging. This would have been a perfect place for wireless charging, but the good news is you could put 2 Twinkies, one for you, one for your passenger. We got the D mode. What does D stand for? It stands for driving dynamics. You got your different modes, sport and standard. I'll show you that when you come over the business end. Start, stop button, and you see this weird shaped thing? This is your electric shifter for the all-new 9-speed automatic. So actually looks tasteful. I don't mind it because you could get a 6-speed, and don't worry, we're going to be driving both the automatic and the 6-speed. Stay tuned for that. You got your 2 stages of heat seats. high and low, just like the previous generation. Good old-fashioned mechanical e-brake. I wish that they would have taken the blue and put some blue leather on here. That would have been another nice touch. One cup holder, but you're not drinking in my Z. I don't care how dehydrated that you are. And another cup holder. Open it up. We got enough space in there. I would say 4 Twinkies, that is it. If you put more than 4, you're going to squirt cream everywhere. We have our key fob. It's still that key fob they've been using since the beginning of time, but you know what? It works. It's a nice size, and it's not going to pull your pants down in public. So that's another nice thing, because God forbid if that happens to some people might start laughing. What they're not going to laugh at are these seats. Love the color blue, the Alcantara, just enough bolstering. They redid all of the cushioning and support material. You do have electric assist for both the passenger. You see it moving? I'm actually doing it with the electric motors. I have electric assist over here. You could basically fit, I'm 6 feet tall, you could fit somebody that's a tad over 6.3 feet tall, 6 feet 3 inches tall with no issues. But I definitely recommend sitting in it before you just drop the cash. Come on over here though. I got a 12.3 inch digital display that's gonna blow your freaking mind, and a sexy steering wheel in this new Z. All right, guys, now obviously we're in a 2-seat sports car, but when you're comparing it to the Camaro, honestly, those rear seats, unless you are 3 feet tall or a paper mache doll, that's the only amount of room you got back there. So I'm not even gonna count the back seats in the Camaro. What I do like though is you have this nice sill plate with the Z logo there that lights up, and a footbox made for a race car. So what we got is, when you look here, you have your aluminum throttle, brake, and aluminum dead pedal. In the Camaro SS, you don't get an aluminum dead pedal. So I like that extra touch. You could make some extra adjustments to the bolstering and the tilt of the bottom part of the seat. And the steering wheel, it is manual tilting and telescoping, but you know what? It's really nice, sexy goodness. The leather, I wish it would have been a nice touch to do blue stitching around, since we have the blue interior, but you got the Z badge. Just a little bit of gloss black, some nice aluminum. You do have these large paddles behind the steering wheel to go up and down that new 9-speed automatic. And then look at that dash. 12.3 inches of visual goodness. On the left, you got different gauges you could scroll through. On the right, you have engine oil temp, water temp. You got, of course, your transmission and your diff. And then watch this. If you want something a little bit more mundane and simplified, you could go into normal. Boom. How about you want something maybe a little bit different from that? Maybe you want enhanced. So that really shows the work that they did to make this very specific. I'm staying in sport because that's just how I roll. One thing that this does not have that would have been that little extra something would have been a head-up display, because you can get one in the Camaro. But while we go ahead, let's get to that cargo area and compare cargo volume from the Z to the Chevrolet Camaro. Let's go do it. All right, guys, time to get in that cargo area. What I love is Nissan has hidden the button. It's actually underneath the SS. So since we're talking about Camaro, I think they did that on purpose. But I'm gonna hit that button. You just lift it up, one hand, 1, 2, 3. This is what I love about the Z. Look at all this interior space. You could even see the strut tower brace for your rear shock absorber mounts to stiffen up the back, just like we stiffen up the front, but definitely hands down more room than a Chevrolet Camaro. Chevrolet Camaro, you could fit about a loaf of bread. Here, you could do all the fixings. You could get a couple loaves of bread. You could get a full-on, just big, huge salami that you're gonna slice up when you get home, plus a bunch of other stuff. But think about it. Think about your track day. You could get your goodies back here and not need another vehicle on top of that. Now, I know that you are waiting for us to go on throttle. Don't worry, it's almost here. May 16th, mark your calendar now. Write it down now, because you're gonna forget. May 16th, 12:01 a.m. I better see you here on Raiti's Rides to watch on throttle action, not only in a manual, but also the 9-speed automatic on track, on the road, all together. But stay up. Just go ahead and stay up May 15th and just stay up the whole night through. But But we're here in the middle of nowhere. I'm afraid the sun's coming down. We need to wrap this one up and get back to civilization. So let's do it. All right, guys, I know you want more, and I promise I am gonna give you more. But first of all, make sure you set your alarm, your watch, put, I don't know, spray paint it on the wall of your room. Tune in May 16th, 12:01 a.m. My advice, get some popcorn, get some Twinkies, and stay up May 15th all the way through so that you are there for us to go on throttle together in both the 6-speed manual and the new 9-speed automatic. But I, first of all, got to thank everybody with Nissan USA for inviting us to this media drive event. I know you have been excited for this one, and we are so excited to share it with you. But let me know what you think. In the end, it's your money. Are you going to go Camaro SS or LT1, or are you going new Z with all the twin turbo goodness that comes with it? Put it in that comment section. Very interesting idea that we're talking about here. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. Gotta give it up. You see these rocks out here? None of them are as strong as the rock holding that camera. Thank you, Lori, for being the muscle behind the lens. Show her some freaking love in that comment section, or I'm gonna come after you. And thank you, Lori, for all that you do. Just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.